This is pretty crazy. So the ICE raids have begun. I mean, the ICE raids have been going on for decades now. That's not new. Obviously, tons of people were deported under Biden, but they're increasing in egregiousness. This happened the other day. This is a particularly egregious example. ICE agents stormed into a seafood store in New Jersey and started asking people for their papers. Folks, how many of you U.S. citizens carry your passport on you? Just asking. Just wondering, how many of you keep your passport on you? No one does. Zero human beings do that. One of the guys they nabbed and arrested, mind you, for not having their papers. Okay, to be clear, again, these were not targeted raids. One of them was a veteran. This was totally untargeted. They entered the seafood store, looked around. There were a lot of Puerto Ricans there. They looked for the brownest Puerto Rican, asked him for his papers. He didn't have it. No one has their papers. Is it illegal to not have your papers? No! In the United States? Absolutely not. Get your Euro shit out of here. Nobody has their papers on them, and we're not expected to have their papers on them. And if you asked us to have our papers on us, you're Hitler. Unironically. Well, we're getting there, I suppose. It's illegal here in Germany? Yeah, well, you are Hitler. Anyway, yeah, one of the people detained was a veteran. Absolutely insane.
Guys, a tough story this morning. We're here outside the Ocean Seafood Depot in Newark.
Do we believe in audio?
It was targeted by ICE raids. We can tell you that 3 people were detained here, and now the owner of this business says those are family men working hard to provide a living, and now they don't know what's next or where to go from here. We're told that those ICE agents came in asking for papers and then took away 3 of those people. In these pictures, you can see, obtained by Pix11, Homeland Security badges on the uniformed officers walking into the Seafood Depot. We're told by the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice those 3 people were hauled off for unknown reasons. ICE confirming they did a, quote, targeted enforcement operation, but Newark...
They targeted enforcement operation, my ass. They got a veteran. You got to understand what this means. That we are establishing a pattern, an increasing pattern. ICE literally just sees a brown guy, arrest them. That's what happened. Since nobody has their papers on them, because nobody's expected to, because this is a free country, at least theoretically. Did they have warrants for it? No. You don't understand. This isn't war. They literally just barged in, and they arrested somebody with no reason, no probable cause. They just went after the brown guy. This video is quiet. Is this video louder?
Playing out Thursday.
It's really
ICE
not.
Agents stormed into this place of business without a valid judicial warrant.
What did they say?
In the morning.
How do they get away with it? They are ICE agents.
The documentation on the people you have working. Why? You looking for anything? What are you looking for? No, we just had some complaints.
He says 3 people were hauled out of work by immigration agents for unknown reasons. ICE telling Pix11 it did a targeted enforcement operation. Mayor Raz Baraka saying they unlawfully terrorized people, quote, detaining undocumented residents as well as citizens without producing a warrant.
No warrant
of the detainees
needed.
is a U.S. military veteran and had his military documentation questioned. President Donald Trump signed an executive order upon taking office to round up and return asylum seekers home, giving the okay to send ICE into hospitals, churches, and schools.
Again, like whether or not the goal of the administration is to deport enough undocumented immigrants to put the fear of God into the rest of them, the actual ICE agents are racist as shit. Every ICE agent is a racist, with no exceptions. There are some cops, maybe, who wake up and they're like, in spite of everything, I think I'm going to maybe make the city a better place. Maybe. There are no such ICE agents, okay? We are talking about people who are pre-selected for the worst... I'm saying whatever charitability you might assign conditionally, like these are ICE agents, okay? They have basically unlimited power. They work for the federal government. They can just go in, go out, no warrant, doesn't matter. You're brown? Where are your papers? Apparently. And now they feel emboldened. I mean, why wouldn't they, of course? Trump fully backs what's happening here. Look at this. Agents made no prior announcement when they stormed into the market, blocking entrances, scrambling up delivery ramps, and banging on bathroom doors. Banging on bathroom doors. Jesus Christ. The arrest followed Donald Trump's sweeping anti-immigration laws first week of office. Listen to this. This is so telling, okay? Quote, I feel like we have to be a country of law, but we have to go after bad people, not working people. Business owner Luis Yonota told local news. This is what they meant, man. You can't, when, like, you assign the charitability. When people like Trump and his cronies are like, oh, we're going to get these bad people out, they just mean brown people. That's not... Just give me the interview.
Federal authorities confirmed the arrests of more than
Does this contain the quote? Give me the quote. I want to see it delivered.
Yesterday alone. Agents seen taking people into custody in multiple cities, including New York and Boston.
I wouldn't describe them as raids. What it seems to be is what we expected and what I support, which is the apprehension of criminals in our communities.
Sources say those operations have been routine. Most of the arrests appear to be suspected criminals. But in Newark, New Jersey, the mayor says agents detained multiple people at a restaurant without a warrant.
Well, I'm sorry, what are the sources on this reporting right here? So they've done lots of raids and many of them seem to be suspected criminals. Based on what? The incredible, like, research and scrupulousness of the federal government?
Including U.S. citizens and a military veteran. The restaurant owner claims agents took 3 employees into custody after they were unable to show documentation.
I feel that we have to be a country with law, but go after bad people, not working people. These are people, these are family people.
This is the remember that one documentary we saw, or like that little news segment where there was an undocumented immigrant who was saying that he was supporting Trump because when he thought that when Trump said they were going to go after the bad guys, they didn't mean good, honest, hardworking people like him.
These are people that show up to work every day.
New signs of President Trump's immigration crackdown are appearing along the southern border.
Yeah, it's always someone else, never themselves. It's always like, it's always the next guy. Like, no. You know, the politician and the federal government that are like extensively committed to warring with Mexico on every level. Like that's, you know, they're going to be charitable.
2 Osprey helicopters landing near the border of Tijuana and San Diego.
Oh my God, this shit is so expensive.
Some of the 1,500 troops deployed this week.
So these trucks right here and those 2 helicopters that are landing as we speak, they're bringing supplies as a part of the very first steps of this deployment.
That's great. This is actually the most cost-effective way to get supplies to a part of the world that is literally within your own borders. Osprey helicopters. They've probably already spent like $500 million on this. Ospreys don't use a ton of fuel. Not just fuel, man, maintenance. Oh, sorry, bro. Got a grain of sand on your Osprey. Time to ground that shit for 6 weeks while it's in the country. You can use trucks like the kind of trucks you could get at U-Haul. It's just a PR stunt. Just a PR stunt that's going to cost a lot of money and hurt a lot of people. And oh, don't you worry, the money's going to the right place, okay? Because the people who repair those Ospreys and maintain them, hey, I got some news for you. Do you think they're federal workers or do you think they're contracted private sector military contractors? That's right. Because a federal mechanic would cost the wage of a mechanic, and a contracted mechanic from a private sector military company costs incomprehensibly more. $1 trillion.
The U.S. military down here to the U.S.-Mexico border.
One of Trump's executive orders already suffering a setback. A federal judge temporarily blocking Trump's...
Yeah, that's a different thing. A spokesperson for ICE told CBS News that officers, quote, may encounter U.S. citizens while conducting field work and may request identification to establish an individual's identity, as was the case during a targeted enforcement operation. That's great. I tell you, man, I would tell you guys to keep your passports on you, but probably they would just steal them. They would probably just go, oh, what passport? And like yoink it or something. I don't know. Like rule of law just does not apply here. And we've known that's the case for a while with ICE. They can do whatever the they want. They don't need probable cause. They don't need a warrant. Vosh, I can personally confirm that the contractor thing is true. My friend's dad is one. He literally left last night to go there. Jesus, yeah. Isn't a driver's license enough to prove residence at least? I don't know. This driver's license looked fake to me. I don't know. I'm a federal agent. I'm not familiar with the exact layout and formatting of this New Jersey driver's license. This one looks fake to me. Better bring you in just to be sure. Dude, they'll do literally whatever the f they want. Wait, where is this happening? What areas are being targeted in the quote-unquote targeted enforcement operation? Apparently, like, many large blue cities. The vet had a driver's license on him. Well, clearly it was fake. You got a license for that melanin. Mayor Baraka criticized what he called ISIS cavalier language, suggesting that, quote, these things happen, and, quote, there are going to be citizens who we stop and question. How do you determine who is undocumented and who is a criminal just by looking at them, he said. Well, I don't know how to, but I know that ICE thinks they know how to. I know ICE has a working theory that they've been, you know, employing for a time now. In operations across the country on Thursday, ICE arrested 538 people and lodged 373 detainers. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said those 538 people are all, quote, illegal immigrant criminals, including a suspected terrorist, 4 members of the Tren de Aragua gang, and several illegals convicted of sex crimes against minors. Well, I believe them. I believe the federal government just waving their hands and saying, you know, actually every single person that we've arrested is a criminal, trust me. She called the arrest in Newark a disgrace and what we expect from two-bit dictators and banana republics. Warrantless searches, jackbooted thugs, veterans detained. She said, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen who served our country in uniform, you too can be stopped without warning or a warrant and shaken down for your papers. You too can be detained indefinitely and without cause. You too can be rounded up and whisked away. Is that a promise? She's complaining about it. Is the Constitution only applicable to citizens? Isn't this unconstitutional? The Constitution is supposed to protect everyone within the land, not just citizens. But these guys were citizens. I mean, the veteran... Oh, we also got this. Navajo Nation leaders address reports of ICE detaining tribal citizens. Native Americans. You, how long have you been here in the United States? In response to Donald Trump's executive order targeting the deportation of immigrants to the country illegally, acting Navajo Nation Deputy Attorney General Chris Beecher recommended that tribal citizens carry their certificate of Indian blood along with other forms of identification. Social media has been flooded with posts of Navajo citizens being detained by ICE and questioned about their U.S. citizenship. Me going on to the reservation to find people who only recently arrived here. State Senator Theresa Hatatli informed the council about a Navajo citizen who was detained for 9 hours, underscoring the urgent need for emergency protocol. She emphasized that many tribal members face challenges with documentation. She said despite having certificates of Indian blood and state-issued IDs, several individuals have been detained or questioned by ICE agents who fail to recognize these documents as valid proof of citizenship. Yep, literally told you, man. It doesn't even matter. You could show them a passport and they'd be like, oh, I don't know, you still look brown to me. It literally doesn't matter. Just be white, dog. Trump's first appeal against the injunction argues that Native Americans should not get citizenship. Fascinating. Yeah, apparently the first argument that the Trump administration is making against the blocking of the executive order that is repealing the first clause of the 14th Amendment is one that's based on like an 1890s law or something like that. Not an expert on the specifics on that. Supremacist henchmen are pouring into DC. DC is going to be a hellhole to live in for a while, not only because of the constant like white nationalists and protests and stuff, but because all of the police there can be pardoned. Like everyone there, all crimes committed there can be pardoned by Trump. So if a cop like kills you because you're black or something, they can just pardon that cop. He can pardon everyone because they're all like under federal jurisdiction. ICE has insane jurisdiction. Yeah, thanks to what was the Supreme Court ruling? I don't remember what the name of it was, but ICE doesn't have to follow the rule of law if you are within 100 miles of the border, which includes the ocean. So basically everyone who isn't in the sticks, you know, more or less, gets to be within ICE's super duper extra special we can do whatever we want zone. Not just ICE, the federal government, but... The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects people from random and arbitrary stops and searches. Although the federal government claims the power to conduct certain kinds of warrantless stops within 100 miles of the U.S. border, important Fourth Amendment protections still apply. This helps you understand your rights within the 100-mile border zone. It's actually pretty, Chat, I need to laugh at this or I will Kermit sewer slide. This is not TikTok. Do not denigrate my community with this insane babble, this baby speak. Also, don't say it without the baby speak either. Just keep it in your head. Are there limitations to immigration officials' power? No. You have the right to remain silent or tell the agent you'll only answer questions in the presence of an attorney, no matter your citizenship or immigration status. Generally, an immigration officer can't detain you without reasonable suspicion. Well, that's gone. The veteran literally showed ID. The Navajo literally showed ID. So there's not, you can't even go with the like reasonable suspicion of them not having any kind of license or ID on them. They had them. So yeah, so that's out the window. An immigration officer cannot search you or your belongings without probable cause or your consent. That one's out the window too, I assume. Immigration officer cannot arrest you without probable cause. That one's out the window. Just not true. Not happening. If an agent asks you for documents, what you need to provide differs depending on your immigration status. U.S. citizens don't have to carry proof of citizenship on their person if they're in the U.S. If you have valid immigration documents or over 18, the law does require you to carry those documents on you. If you are asked by an immigration officer to produce them, it's advisable to show the documents to the agent. You risk being arrested. If you're an immigrant without documents, you can decline the officer's request. An agent would likely ask you more questions. You can decline the request. Category never provide false documents to immigration officials. Sorry, no fake IDs. So basically, they can do what they want. Yes. I hate to be hyperbolic, but would you say that significant chunks of the Constitution are dead? I mean, they've been whittling away at it for a while, for sure. Is there any broader reporting on that New Jersey raid? I want to see the Newark mayor talk about it.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement say ICE agents targeted a work site in Newark, New Jersey. Surveillance video shows what appears to be ICE agents taking a man into custody outside Ocean Seafood Depot. The owner says agents arrived at the work site at around 11 o'clock yesterday morning, asking to see his employees' documentation. Newark's mayor is now criticizing the operation, saying that it violated the Fourth Amendment. He just spoke this morning. Let's take a listen from just moments ago.
In our city without a warrant. They went in the back of the establishment. We believe that there were 3 people who they say were undocumented that they detained, but they also detained folks that were, in fact, citizens of this country. One person showed their military veteran identification and was still questioned anyway.
Jesus.
People were fingerprinted. Pictures of their IDs and face were taken there. When I got this information, I was appalled, upset, angry that this would happen here in this state, in this country, that this would be allowed. Since this
shit is so evil, man. You know what? F it. I hope they keep overreaching. If they like, if ICE is like, oh, now we get to be racist, let's go, and in response to that they're just like, F it, we're just gonna like randomly arrest brown people. Sure, whatever. Yeah, I was pretty concerned about the Latin support for Trump increasing over time. Yeah, if you could turn that down a little bit, I think that'd be cool. Yeah, stick your dick in the toaster. See if I care. Yeah, it's very warm. Acceleration. You guys think everything's accelerationism. You don't understand what accelerationism is. Accelerationism is when you accept bad things now hastening towards a collapse of some kind because that collapse then allows you to benefit from potential in the future. What I'm saying is that what they're doing right now is toothless and serves to do nothing but antagonize and alienate people.
We said something about it. I convened my folks. I said, we can't just let this happen and not say anything, that we at least have to say something. And so we did. And here we are. And as a result of that, I've got a series of phone calls and emails that were not too nice. One of them says, oh, you're not going to stand idly by. These are dangerous rapists and murderers that the liberals in this country have protected far too long. You want to defy the federal government? F around and find out what will happen.
I actually think this is great because we all know that Trump supporters online are fucking lunatic, like insane demon people. I think that more often local officials should be like, here's what I saw in response to this U.S. veteran getting arrested for no reason the other day. And then you read out some of the most like vile shit you've ever seen in your life. I think that's good. Really shine a light on how insane they are. It's crazy that like the right has built for years now a messaging strategy that is basically like, see this demi-queer person with pink hair and self-harm scars on Twitter with 16 followers. This is what the left wants to do to your 4-year-old. And then you get like a Fox News segment out of it. Meanwhile, every other Republican is Hitler, and Democrats high road that shit and never like make mention of it because it would be uncivil. They don't even talk about it. It's crazy. Do you have any idea how much ammunition they give you every day? Go into the Fox News comments. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Here's what Republicans have to say about the suspension of habeas corpus. Here's what they have to say about the violation of the Fourth Amendment. Base, get those brown people out. Like, yeah, you know, shine a light See the cockroaches scatter.
You little whatever. The problem with this is that none of these people were or murderers or criminals. The problem with it is that ICE went in there without a warrant. And we can disagree on politics. You can disagree with me about the role immigrants play in the economy of our community. You can disagree with me about the fact that most immigrants are not criminals. In fact, they are victims of violence in cities. We can disagree about whether you support mass deportation or not.
But these guys weren't even immigrants.
What we must
not
agree
the veteran,
on
at least. He's
is
Puerto
that
Rican.
the thing that separates this country from many other countries around the world is the Constitution of the United States.
That is the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, criticizing a raid by ICE yesterday.
I'm a German watcher. The current situation, horror. Anything we can do to help over there? Sure. Make sure AFD loses, and also tell your beloved men's basics company Mersby Schwanen that I'd like them to make their t-shirt collars a little bit thicker, and if they could add a size up, because it's insane that I have to wear the double XL and it still feels kind of tight around my chest. It's a German company, not Japanese. The fact that their double XL is still tight around my chest, not my stomach, mind you, my chest, is pretty wild. Like, I don't know. I feel like you guys are larger than that. I don't really know. Mersby Schwanen really be saying fat people. Anyway, do that. Don't let the AFD win, and whatever the second thing I said was.
At a seafood depot in his city, he is calling the raid illegal, was done without a search warrant, and that it violates the Fourth Amendment. Meanwhile, last night, the White House press secretary announced the arrest of, quote, 538 illegal immigrant criminals.
What an auspicious
She
number.
says they include a suspected terrorist, 4 gang members, and several convicted of sex crimes against
And all the rest of them are just brown people, I assume.
minors. CBS News correspondent Adam Yamaguchi is live in San Diego for us with the latest on the immigration and deportation crackdown. Adam, going back to that ICE operation in Newark, why was that so controversial? It was done without a search warrant. And by the way, Newark is also a sanctuary city, right?
It's not about it being a sanctuary city. It's not even about the lack of a warrant. It's the fact that despite providing papers proving his identification, a random veteran guy was arrested. Like, that's insane. It's genuinely insane. You realize they could do that to literally anyone, right? Literally anyone. When I'm out and about, I just have my driver's license. Like, it's okay. I'm white, so they're never going to do it to me. But if I wasn't white, you could literally hit like 5 million people in the Los Angeles County with that. Even ignoring the undocumented immigrants. Just like, oh, where's your ID? Driver's license? I don't recognize it. I don't know what a California ID looks like. You're coming to the station, buddy.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. Newark is a sanctuary city. As the mayor of Newark said in that presser just a few moments ago, the controversy that's been generated by this is one.
What percentage of U.S. citizens even have passports? Honestly, probably like less than half. I don't know, but you could probably Google that really easily, but I don't want to spoil the mystery for myself. For those of you who don't know, in America, you do not get one guaranteed. You have to apply for one. You have to get your passport. Same, honestly, with driver's license. Like, you can have a default non-driver state ID, but for the most part, the only default identification you have as a U.S. citizen is your birth certificate, which people do not carry on them. Nobody in America carries their birth certificate on them. And everything kind of like out from that, there's some like process to get, you know? Oh, social security card. That's right. But it's a shit document. Yeah.
The fact that ICE agents could not or did not produce a warrant, and that this was a violation of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which
51%?
guarantees people
Gotcha.
protection from unreasonable searches and seizures. And as also noted, the operation also involved the temporary detention of U.S. citizens as well as undocumented immigrants.
So, Adam, the Trump administration also gave federal immigration officers the...
Any advice to hide male pattern baldness? Shave it or adopt like Tony Soprano aura. That's it. Hide? I mean, you can hide it by going to Turkey and getting hair plugs. They're pretty cheap and effective these days. Also, doesn't Rogaine stop the loss of hair? Like, it turns out Rogaine actually works. I don't know. It's kind of a confidence thing. Just don't like be weird about it. Yeah, don't hide it under a hat. That's negative aura. Agreed. Agreed. There's nothing on earth that provides less aura that it retracts your aura more than like being obviously ashamed of balding. Who gives a
power to revoke the legal status of thousands of migrants and then seek their deportation. So how would that work exactly?
Yeah, so what this is in reference to is the 1.5 million migrants who are allowed into the country under a Biden administration program. Essentially, the president has the authority to allow people in as part of what's called immigration parole. So again, 1.5 million people who had been allowed to enter the U.S. via the CBP-1 Act.
Right. This isn't really about the New Jersey raid anymore. We'll talk about broader immigration stuff shortly. Oh man, shortly. I'm out of it, fellas. I do love. Look, this is the Forbes breaking. Forbes breaking news is a fast channel. The comments underneath. Mayor Baraka holding a briefing on the ICE raids in Newark. In the comments, if you're illegal, you have no rights. That's not true. That's unconstitutional. No warrant needed for illegal activities. That's not true. That's not even remotely true. The Constitution for legal citizens. That's not true. They were detained due to investigative normal procedure. That's not true. Sounds like the mayor's trying to make it about race. POV, you have a black mayor. They don't know their own history. They're just fascists. He did a great job listing all the rights of American citizens. Those rights don't apply to criminal aliens. That's not true, but also these guys weren't criminal aliens. I mean, they don't watch the videos that they reply to. They're Nazis? They're Nazis, yeah. Those people are Nazis. They would have supported the camps. They probably still do. Pro tip, don't look at the comments on CNN news videos. It is genuinely insane how much the right has taken over the internet comment sections with bots. Most of those replies are bots. The likes are bots too, because all these massive bot farms that are promoting like misinformation and hate online are run by the right. Like 100%, you know? It didn't used to be this bad. There used to be a lot more impartiality. And it was like, oh, the Fox News comment section is bad. Now it's every news site, every news channel, you know?